light. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. You see the sea. I'll see the sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. Shine, shine. sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine. I'll be your love. I'll be your love. I'll be your sunshine.
It's a new day at the Winsport Event Center as we gear up for an all-prairie showdown between the 5-13 Calgary Surge and the 7-10 Saskatoon Mamba. The Red Hot Surge have won 4 straight games to keep their playoff hopes alive, and to have a shot at the postseason, they need to catch 4th place Saskatoon. And the Surge are in the midst of a grueling stretch of their schedule that will see them play 3 games in 5 days. Meanwhile, the Mamba need to show some fangs after dropping 5 of their last 6 outings. They haven't won since they slipped by Calgary back on July 3rd in Whitehorse. I'm Tammy Kepke on the sidelines, joined by the voices of the Surge, Mitch Peacock and Shane Cummings. Guys, these teams are on very different trajectories, and the stakes are just getting higher.
Well, there's no question about that, Cammy. A very interesting setup to this one. A playoff-like feel to this game for these two teams. When you look at it, very simple. One team's got the last playoff spot. The other team wants it. The Surge are the hottest team in the league right now. Saskatoon, 1 win in their last 6. From a Calgary standpoint, what do the Surge have to do to keep this good thing going?
It's simple, Mitch. The unprecedented ball movement and unselfishness we're seeing from the Calgary Surge right now are the primary reason why they're on this streak. Keep sharing the basketball. Keep involving everybody. You look up and down the minutes. Minutes are very evenly spread. Even Dave DeViro's getting in on the unselfishness, Mitch. Continue that same energy here today, and you'll be just fine.
Let's look at the matchup numbers, and they can be a little bit confusing because they tell the story of the whole season and not the story of the last little while for the Calgary Surge, but there are the numbers heading into the game today. And on the Saskatoon side, well, they like that number of 95. They think that if they can keep up the offense, they've got a chance to win. They need to tighten things up a bit defensively.
That they do. Not necessarily being shown right now, but almost 100 points a game right now Saskatoon is giving up. And if you're going to give this Calgary team the opportunity to perhaps get that century mark, it is curtains for you. So like you just said, Mitch, Saskatoon has got to do their best job here, packing up those passing lanes and making sure those second chance opportunities are set to nothing.
For more on this one, Cammy standing by now with interim head coach Dave DeViro.
You know, it leads to our transition game, and our guys like to run. So if we get stopped, we can get out and run.
You had 40 points off the bench in Friday's win over Winnipeg. How important is that depth going to be as you kind of stare down this stretch where you're playing 3 games in 5 days?
It's real important, right? And I think it's been one of our strengths all season has been our bench play. Kind of wear teams out, and our bench comes in and just continues the pressure and pressure and pressure. So it makes it really hard for a lot of teams.
You know Saskatoon wants to hold down that last playoff spot, but the other day you said that the Mamba are very effective when they play small. What does that really mean, and how do you counter that?
They go small. They probably basically put out 5 guards on the floor, and they spread you out and then looking to shoot threes. And so it's tough to match up. When they do that, you might have to go small. You stay big. They put you in a situation where you got to think matchups or how you're going to attack it. So they do a really good job. Actually, I think they're better when they play small ball.
Were you able to catch the end of that World Cup game?
I did. I saw the goal. So hopefully it ends that way.
Thanks for this, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
They've been following it closely, but now they're locked into game time. That's Surge interim head coach Dave DeViro. Mitch and Jermaine have more around the corner. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Back to Calgary in the Winsport Event Center. Mitch Peacock, Jermaine Cummings, Cappy Kepke with you. We're getting ready for the Calgary Surge and the Saskatoon Mamba meeting up for the third time on the season. Calgary Surge sitting in the 5th spot, the Mamba sitting in 4th. Let's get to the keys for this one, beginning with Saskatoon. It's brought to you by CDIC.
Saskatoon is going to need to get some organic threes here today. 2 games against the Calgary Surge this season, both won by the Mamba, by the way. Saskatoon is shooting 41% from deep. Prioritize getting organic three-point looks within the flow of the offense and see if you can catch the Calgary defense flat-footed. Clean cut. A secondary benefit to working the ball around the perimeter, looking for those threes, is driving lanes will start to appear as the defense starts to shift. So your elite slashers, guys like Jameer Chaplin, can get to carve at will. And finally, send them to your size. The Saskatoon leans on their rim protection. Shade the Surge's offensive lane fillers into the middle, so guys like Easton Tim and Townsend and Jaden Bediako can provide that secondary support.
They do have some size, no question about it. Dave DeViro also liking when they go small, so they are a team with a couple of challenges to deal with. On the Calgary side, again, the keys brought to you by CDIC.
It's time for the Surge to run those pockets. In the Calgary's win against the CEBL on Friday, they managed to rip 11 steals and clock 20 points off of those steals. Make the Mamba uncomfortable tonight with airtight defense and not leaving a single passing lane unpatrolled. Substitution, retribution. Dave DeViro raves about the depth he's got on this team, and his bench coming out and pumping 40 points into the Winnipeg defense on Friday validates his point. The second unit needs to hit that same efficiency level here today and continue to show that there are no shifts off. And finally, get it in. Something's got to give here today. You've got Calgary on one side that loves to eat in the paint. You've got Saskatoon on the other, whose defensive hallmark is rim protection. So the Surge have got to fight for the precious restricted area on both ends of the floor here today.
Something to watch, many things to keep in mind as we go into this one with so much riding on it. Let's take a look at the starting lineups now, and for these two teams, the key here is continuity. For Saskatoon, the same starting lineup for a 3rd consecutive game. Remember, they released Tevian Jones, and Jalen Williams is away at Summer League duty, so this is the group that they're going with to start once again, and as I mentioned, for a 3rd straight game. For Calgary, this is now 6 consecutive games. This is a lineup first started with in the matchup between these two teams in Whitehorse, and as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Calgary Surge have found something special, both in the starting group and coming off the bench, and they're sticking with it in this critical game against the Saskatoon Mamba. Calgary coming in at 5-13. And Saskatoon at 7-10 on the year. Our players to watch for this one begin with a look at the Saskatoon representative in this discussion, Jameer Chaplin. Chaplin coming in, averaging nearly 20 points a game in his last 4.
Yeah, for Chaplin, guys like Tev Jones recently being released and Jalen Williams on his NBA Summer League side quest, that's going to leave a whole lot of points for Jameer Chaplin to get. And he's been doing that role super well as of late, especially over these last couple of games. Let's not forget that his season high this season, 26 points, was against this very Calgary Surge team, Mitch. So if you're Jameer Chaplin, look to do the things that you did in the last game. Slash, finish, and make yourself known.
On the Calgary side, Rugsy Miller-Moore in the spotlight, and for good reason. He moved into 2nd all-time in CEBL scoring on Friday in the win against Winnipeg. This is a maturing player who's always had the talent, but now it looks like he's ready to take things to another level.
That's exactly it, Mitch. He's got accolades a mile long, but the thing that has impressed me the most about Sean Miller-Moore this season is his willingness and ability to be coached. This is a guy who's had 5 coaches in 4 seasons here in the CEBL, Mitch, and nobody better on this squad essentially brings forth what the Calgary Surge are about than Sean Miller-Moore. It's finishing, it's being coachable, it's understanding what's on the line, and it's leading the young guys on the team.
Yeah, he is the face of the franchise and now really expanding his repertoire with that leadership quality that he is developing, and the Surge are excited about that. Rugsy has to be excited about that because that means new opportunities will open up for him as he continues in this profession. We are just about ready for tip here at Winsport Event Center in Calgary. The teams are all set, and we are set. The visitors in purple, the home side in white. And we remind you the tip-off is presented by Spalding, the official game ball of the CEBL. And the Spalding just about to get put into circulation on the 3rd meeting of the season between the clubs. Calgary trailing the season series 2-0. That has to change, and it has to begin to change this afternoon. A vital game between these two teams, with Saskatoon in that last playoff spot and the Surge trying to catch up. The difference between the teams, 2.5 games right now. The Surge can get to within a win of the Mamba if they can triumph on this occasion. The fans are on their feet. The Spalding is in the air, and this one is underway. Adonis Arms gets those arms on it very quickly. contact with the sideline. It's out of play, but good intent right from the jump from Adonis Arms.
That's what you want to see from Adonis Arms. Engaged right away, looking to secure those loose balls. And granted, wasn't able to keep himself in bounds. That's the process you want to see.
And look at Cheney picking up Dunmartin early. No free passages in this one. Everybody understands what's on the line. Dunmartin to Chaplin, and a good hand there. Did it go off Chaplin last? Yes, it did. It'll be Surge basketball, and we see that defensive identity kicking in right from the opening moments here.
There it is, head on a swivel. Adonis Arms looking to clog those passing lanes and created a turnover just off of his defensive awareness.
Surge taking a home and home from Vancouver and then doing the same against Winnipeg. The top two teams in the Western Conference in their wake in the last four. Saskatoon has dropped 5 of 6. The only win in that stretch for them when these two teams met at Whitehorse. Here's Joplin up and over, a little shy. Javante Brown got there first, and the Surge score first.
Yeah, you saw Bediako getting pulled out of their shoot area by Joplin, and that allowed Javante Brown to kind of sneak in the backside, get a rebound, and get 2 points.
Tavian Dunmartin, 14-1-2 against Winnipeg on Wednesday. Make that 13-4-6 against Winnipeg on Wednesday for the team's top scorer, averaging just about 17 a game. And the visitors get on the board. Switching ends very quickly here. The Surge setting up shop and not hurrying through things. They want to take advantage of every possession. They value the basketball as well as any team in the league. Bugsy Miller-Moore's 3 doesn't work. Comes back out for Arms. Arms tries the 3. That rides the rim into the hands of Bandu. Devontae Bandu controlling. Played in Mexico prior to coming to the CEBL this season. Chaplin once signed a contract with Dallas of the NBA. Bediako working underneath too, trying to take care of the big man, and the Mamba get the bounce.
Yeah, and you see now the benefit of Jaden Bediako. Granted, Dave DeViro said he was worried about that small lineup, but you can't snuff at somebody who's always amongst the top in both rebounds and blocks per game in the CEBL, and Jaden Bediako.
Greg Spagnoli, Zach Udamorin, the umpires, the crew chief for this one, Wasim Husseini. Dunmartin guarded by Cheney, slips him, gets in, floats and finishes. That is slick from TDM.
When you're under 6 feet, nothing helps you more than a deceptive head fake, and that's what you just saw on display right there from Dunmartin.
Amani Cheney, 5-5-3 on Friday. The target score winner last Sunday in Winnipeg. Dunmartin slowing things down a little here. Head coach Isaiah Fox saying, wanted to see his team a bit more together on offense. That's not a bad possession. They score and they'll go to the line.
And that's Jameer Chaplin at his best. Talked about it right off the top of the game here. If he can put the ball on the floor, take defenses with him, slice, dice, carve up defenses, that, like I said, is going to be the key to success here for Saskatoon today with Jameer Chaplin.
Chaplin trying to make it a 3-point possession. Jameer is 78% foul shooter on the season. Chaplin out of Little Rock. That was where he finished up his NCAA eligibility. Still only 25 years of age. Cross to Joplin on the move inside for Javante Brown. The wires were crossed. And to the attack. Right there, an excellent defensive play. And the defensive intensity continues. Joplin and then Brown, and the Surge get it back without giving anything up. Arms underneath. Bugsy Miller-Moore gets the defense in the air. Kicked back out, extra pass, and another one on for Arms. Still a dozen to shoot. Arms into traffic. Cheney, Joplin likes that spot, but the whistle will go, and it'll go back the other way. The Surge just a little too much hot potato, perhaps, and Saskatoon takes possession.
Yeah, a whole lot of unselfishness with his good, and Arms just trying to set the screen really quick, and unfortunately didn't plant his feet, so it's going the other way. We didn't like the ball movement here early on from the Surge, but as you just alluded to, at some point someone's got to put that shot up.
Bediako pushed by the opposite center, trying to close out now, jumping ahead. Javante Brown to the corner for Chaplin, and that's good.
Beauty right there from Chaplin. because he's such a great driver. Defense had to collapse a little bit, so he just knocks you down from the baseline.
8-point lead early on for Saskatoon. They can fill it up. Their challenge has been defending. The Surge want to challenge them to defend here. Cheney for Miller Moore. Miller Moore on the move, slipped away from him, right back to Chaplin. Chaplin picks up the pace. They're playing quick. Townsend with a look. He goes to the corner. And that one off a foot will stay with Saskatoon. This Western Conference Fair is presented by Cal Tire. Cal Tire, presenting sponsors of Western Conference CEBL action. Bandu creates a little bit of room, steps back. Brown got a hand on a good defensive play by Javante. Up and running. Rugsy Miller Moore couldn't finish it, so he'll slow it down. Arms. Cheney for three. That's good and much needed.
Big time shot right there. From Cheney, he's able to beat the release valve there for Miller Moore, not down the three, but I gotta tell you, the transition from Saskatoon right now is what's got them out in front. Doing such a great job getting back and preventing easy looks from the Surge.
Giving up 99.2 points a game. Saskatoon knows they've got to clean it up on the defensive end, and when they do and get the offense like they are right now, they are a problem, and they are posing problems here. The Surge will take the timeout. Saskatoon with an 8-point advantage as we pause in Calgary. This is Canada's Pro Basketball League, and it's live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Back to Calgary, Mitch Peacock, Jermaine Cummings, Candy Kepke with you. The Calgary Surge using up a timeout early on in this one. They're behind by 8. The Saskatoon Mamba off to a hot start and getting it done with strong defense to set up the offense.
Yeah, Mitch, the Surge are usually towards the top of the league when it comes to retaining the basketball, but already 4 turnovers in this game, and what that tells you early on is the defensive schemes that Saskatoon is throwing out at the Surge right now is cut them out of sorts. You're seeing Calgary move the basketball around, which is good, but like we said, at some point, someone's got to get a little bit more decisive and take that ball and finish in the middle.
Surge averaging just over 12 turnovers for an entire ball game. 4 in the first 4 minutes of change. Cheney here working away from Dunmartin. Up top, Javante Brown, and he was roughed up in the air by Bediako. And the big man for the Mamba puts his hand in the air, and the Surge will send Brown to the line. Javante, 47% free throw shooter on the season. And it's baseline out of bounds. I thought he had a chance there to put that one away.
Yeah, he was most certainly going up for an alley, if you ask me. It's an interesting
a little conversation now.
Yeah.
As the crew chief, Wasim Husseini, and Dave DeViro making the case that we were making just a moment ago. He continues to talk with Wasim Husseini. Off the camera now. Adonis Arms trying to give the officials some time to change their mind. That's not going to happen. And we're back underway. Arms tries to get moving, steps back, dishes for Brown. Brown to Cheney. 6 to get a shot away. Joplin aware of that. The crowd helping out. Joplin stepping back, a tough shot, up and over, and somehow he scored.
Major triple right there from Joplin, but once again, Saskatoon's defense is on another level. That was well contested by Townsend, and frankly, there's a lucky shot there for the Surge. You've got to get a little bit better, moving the basketball around, getting that defense off kilter, getting open looks.
Saskatoon fell 96-83 against Winnipeg on Wednesday, and in the game, There were times when they did not have that defensive intensity, and the Sea Bears were able to capitalize and pull away. And Isaiah Fox, no doubt, informing his team coming in, you cannot have a sometimes attitude in a game like this. You got to have it from the tip, and they've shown it. Here's Ruxy Miller-Moore inside, physical, and finishes.
As per usual, it's Miller-Moore on the baseline, making bank. Great take right there into the chest of Townsend and finishing through the top.
Body to body, glass and good back at the other end. That's good. He was heading back the other way when that one was halfway there.
He's the littlest amount of space does Tavian Dunn-Martin to get one off. And you saw what happens when he does right there. It's 3.
Cheney cross court for Arms. Arms knows they've got time. They'll move it around inside, intended for Javante Brown. Just a little too hot to handle for the big man. And once again, the Surge turn it over in a 6-point game. Matthew Kamba getting ready to come in. Now Kamba checking in. Adonis Arms will sit down. Boy, Kamba had himself a game on Friday night, didn't he? He was 13, 6, and 5. He had 3 triples in the game on 3 tries from outside the arc. This guy can really make a difference, and that leadership ability is next level.
Oh, yeah. Off the bench, by the way, when it comes to Matthew Kamba's numbers.
The Surge got a little bit too spaced there. Didn't have the ability to react to the move to the basket. And they're down by 8 again. They didn't know they were in a fight when this one got started. They know now. The Saskatoon Mamba have showed up, and stepping in to try and rev things up a notch is Kamba.
Boy, oh boy, when you can rely on your first guy off the bench to get into the game and instantly knock down triples, I tell you, leaves you wide open for what you can do offensively.
Kamba tried to adjust quickly there to another gap at the defensive end. He'll take the foul and prevent the easy bucket. We invite you to scan the QR code for your chance to win the ultimate CEBL finals trip, courtesy of redtag.ca. You could score round-trip flights, a 2-night hotel stay, and courtside seats to the CEBL finals. Just visit cebl.ca/redtag for more details.
Play it go. You heard Rugsy Miller-Moore talking to his teammates, asking where the help was. They understand that when Jameer Chaplin, gets the ball on the perimeter, he's a guy that loves to cut and is so efficient at doing that. So Miller-Moore is coming out being like, we need help, we need to rotate. Got to listen to Sean in that case, or else you're going to see Jameer Chaplin on the line more than once.
Yeah, there's no doubt that was a hot topic at the film session and the walkthrough for the Surge, getting prepared for this one. Chaplin is a guy who can fill it up, and he adds to the total there. You talked about Kamba coming off the bench. Marlon Johnson now coming off the bench. And he was super impactful on Friday as well. He set a tone with his defense. That's inside Cheney, and just can't get it to go. Everything was there, but the final product for Calgary. Fuller got some room, and he knows what to do.
That he does. We've got a chance. Our first look here at Fuller, and Jamal gives you 3 again off the bench, stepping into a triple, and a guy that's really helping the Saskatoon offense to find its identity. One
of 4 rookie pros in their lineup out of Long Island University. Johnson gets moving off the bounce. Will whip it right back to Kamba. Kamba for 3. You bet.
Flamethrower engaged. There he is. Continues that hot shooting from range. Does Matthew Kamba. Major onions right there.
Marlon well aware of the situation. Set it up. Bediako up and over the smaller check. And the Mamba are having it their way. Coming up on 2 minutes to go in the opening 10. Surge at 3 and 5 at home. The Mamba 3 and 6 on the road. Dunn-Martin got in there, got a hand to it, but couldn't retain it. Cheney now trying to find a teammate. Inside for Johnson. Johnson draws a lot of attention and the foul.
You're seeing it happen when it comes to the defense. Saskatoon making Calgary work extra hard.
Carl Tire, proud partner and tire expert of the CEBL. Shop top tire brands and have peace of mind with Carl Tire's price match guarantee. Shop and book at carltire.com. So Marlon will head to the free throw line. Marlon Johnson, a veteran professional. He is 32 years of age. Part of the inaugural champions of the CEBL when he was playing for the old Saskatchewan Rattlers. Won a championship with Edmonton as well in 2021. And the Surge picking him up partway through the season. One of the handful of roster changes they've made that's really helped turn things around. And Johnson gets that one. 25-18, Mamba on top. They've won the first 2 games of the season between the teams. That pass picked up on the end line, thrown for the youngster Clayton, and he stepped on the sidelines, and the Surge will take over and get things moving. They've got Paddy Patterson now into the game. Sincere Carey is also on the floor for the Surge. Rugsy Miller-Moore, Marlon Johnson, and rounding things out, Matthew Comba. There's only one starter on the floor at the moment for Dave DeViro. Johnson to Comba. Comba took a bump, gets it right back for Marlon, who gets inside and finishes.
The two-man game, when ran to perfection, is something of beauty. This time it's Comba and Johnson hooking up with a classic right there. Little screen and roll, take the defense we could get to, and add one more on top potential.
A couple of guys who've been around the block, who know the importance of this game and are ready to rise to the occasion. Johnson keeps a good thing going, and just like that, Surge are back to within 4. Dunn Martin, monitored by Carey, an excellent defender. There's a switch now. Rugsy Miller-Moore has TD in. Still 10 to shoot. Clayton out of Pacific. Watched by Comba, trying to find a little space. Tough to do. Goes back out. The paint touch. Sets up the long one.
And one more time, it's Jamal Fuller being the release valve and knocking down a 3 up against the shot clock. That is major.
Fuller averaged over 16 a game in Division I play last season. Stopped on the drive is Patterson, looking for a big finish to the opening quarter. The Mamba fuse from the corner. That's not going to fall. Mamba gets it to Carey. Chance for a couple of possessions here for Calgary if they strike early enough. Comba thought about it inside. Here comes Rugsy, and the reverse is good.
Going on the baseline right there. A little overload defensively from Saskatoon, and Miller-Moore's able to go back door on him and get an up and under to drop.
Clayton tries to create his own shot off the window. Nice touch. And the Mamba have 30 in the first quarter. Surge with a final possession here. Early attempt at the 3. It was an open look, didn't go. Comba got a touch. And the Mamba are going to get one more at the offensive end. Dunn Martin sizing things up, going to work against Comba. Johnson came out to help. Comba comes in, he got a hand to it and took away that last chance. The extra effort right to the buzzer making a difference there for Calgary, but they trail it by 3 after the opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, great start to the game here for Saskatoon. Thoroughly impressed with what they've been able to do defensively in making the Surge uncomfortable.
Saskatoon came locked in, and they've got an advantage to show for it. We're headed to break. Second quarter coming up from Calgary. This is the CEBL on CBC Jam, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Welcome back to Winsport, where the Mamba are up by 7. Now, no matter the outcome of tonight's game, the Mamba will have some hardware in the house on Tuesday night. After defeating the Calgary Surge in the inaugural Real North Classic at Zucchini Arena in Whitehorse in early July, the Mamba will be presented with the Steve Tucholsky Legacy Trophy on Tuesday night as they host the Edmonton Stingers. Now, Steve Tucholsky is a legend in Canadian hoops. He's the all-time winningest coach in U Sports basketball history. Spent more than a decade as an assistant coach with the men's national team, went to 3 Olympics, and now, of course, he's a senior advisor to the Surge. Now, part of having the Legacy Trophy named for him is that it helps players, particularly Americans, learn about the impact Coach K has had on the game. Isaiah Fox says the teams had a dinner in Whitehorse where Tucholsky was spotlighted, and it was a huge learning opportunity for a lot of the Mamba players. And you know Calgary would love to get that trophy back in the years ahead. Hey, Mitch?
No doubt about that, Cammy. Thank you very much. What an entertaining game it was that first time around in Whitehorse. And yes, the Surge want their hands on that trophy when 2027 rolls around. The Surge also want their hands on a playoff spot in 2026, so they're going to be made to fight for it the way this Saskatoon team has come out this afternoon.
Yeah, most certainly. You want to come out with a little bit more energy if you're the Calgary Surge, because Saskatoon has raised the tempo of this game after the first quarter. Whether it's defensive intensity, finishing on the other end, getting wide open looks from 3. Saskatoon firing on all cylinders right now, and the Surge are going to need to step it up.
Surge had a 2-0 lead, and the Mamba rattled off 10 consecutive points and have had the upper hand since. That's a nice touch there from Adonis Arms.
Yeah, finally, a great touch. Take into the interior and finish from a Surge player. This time Adonis Arms. More of that needed here on offense from the guys in white.
Saskatoon is led by as many as 10 in the ball game. Clayton, baseline, trying to get there. Hughes the third, didn't work out. Carey's got it. Quickly ahead for Patterson. Here comes Arms. Look out!
There he is, Adonis Arms once again on the move. One time, it's a drive from the 3-point line. Second time, it's a transition finish up and through some contact. Those are the high-energy plays that are needed.
Surge with 4 second-unit players on now. Adonis Arms rounding out the 5 as it comes to the newcomer Hughes the third. Played in Argentina and Mexico before making his way to Canada. Carey hustles it ahead. Here comes Arms again, the reverse, and the Surge are right back in the ballgame.
That's why they call him the Don right there. Finish in transition. I sound like a broken record because I am. It's Adonis Arms on the move with another layup at the rim.
Pass to the baseline, going to stay with the Mamba. Surge thought they might get it back, but it's going to stay with Saskatoon. As the big man Harding checks in. Marcus Harding, one of the rookies in this lineup for Isaiah Fox, or on the roster today for Isaiah Fox's Saskatoon Mamba. They've got a lot of youth, and they've got a playoff spot at the moment. Trying to get back on track, having dropped 5 of 6. Elected to let Tevian Jones go. Jalen Williams at Summer League. Trying to settle things to a period of transition. 2 minutes in to the second quarter. Marlon Johnson liked the look of that one. Didn't work out for him. Townsend out of Arizona, got it to the low block, handled there by Harding. Harding to the corner. Fuller, who's shown he can shoot it from long range, tries another one, and he can't miss.
Tell you, he's got catch and shoot ability, and he's got ability to create on his own. How about the pump dribble right there? Jamal Fuller step back and hit you with another dribble.
That's 3 of them this afternoon already for 33. Surge looking for one of their own, and why not?
Uh-oh.
Adonis Arms, boy, he is eating up.
That's right, that he is. And you see him really starting to do it in a multitude of ways. It's on the move, it's in transition, and of course, it's from downtown as well.
Adonis with a lower load than normal on Friday night minutes-wise. Dave DeVero said after the game that was kind of a miss on the coach's part, and Adonis hadn't done anything to warrant reduced minutes. Well, Adonis going to make sure they keep him on the floor doing this. Sincere carry against Clayton. Inside, Johnson with authority.
Sincere carry pulling out the binoculars. Find a cutting Marlon Johnson Jr. who gives you a righty punch.
Marlon Johnson up to 7. Sincere carry continues to dole out the assists. He's got 3, and the Surge with a chance to take the lead. On the run, here comes Combat. Just couldn't take the pass cleanly, and it's going to stay with Calgary.
You see how the tempo is up right now?
Totally different pace to the game.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. All it took was a little bit of a tongue lashing there from Dave DeVero between quarters, and now they've seemed to engage offensively in the surge. And when you're able to run up and down the floor, everything just falls into place.
Sometimes you start to string the wins together and you forget how you got there, and then a team comes in, punches you in the mouth, and you get a reminder.
That's exactly it. Sask came out with the energy, and frankly, they're still providing it, but Calgary seems to now finally find something inside.
Matthew Comba continues his hot hand from long range. He's got 3 triples. He's got 9 points. The Surge lead. Don Martin from the corner up top. On the move is Fuller. Fuller runs into traffic to the corner. Joplin, and that is good. Make that Chaplin, and that is good.
Angel right there, and this is Jamal Fuller. Wow, what a standout. Getting it for himself, getting it for teammates as well. Great facilitation.
Sincere carry, misjudged that one from the corner as he stepped back. And Tavion Dunmartin on the move with carry in his back pocket. Catch and shoot Townsend, that one's short. And here's Arms. Carey on the move against Dunmartin. Here comes Javante Brown.
Once again, it's Sincere Carey putting it on a platter, and this time it's Javante Brown devouring. Great finish.
And Isaiah Fox says, hold on a minute, we need to talk. That lead has disappeared here in Calgary. The Surge with a strong start to the second quarter, and they're out in front. We'll be back with more from the Stampede City in just a moment. You're watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Jam, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Winsport Event Center in Calgary, the place to be. The Surge playing game 2 of a 4-game homestand. This one a big one for them on this Sunday afternoon. They're 2.5 games behind the Saskatoon Mamba who have that last playoff spot. The Surge trying to trim the gap, and they have trimmed the gap in this game in a big way to start this second quarter. That's why Isaiah Fox has brought his team in. The Surge outscoring Saskatoon by 8 in the opening portion of this second quarter.
Great bounce back in the second quarter here from the Calgary Surge. Off the backs of 10 different guys, they should go up and down the minute total for the Calgary Surge, and they're all within 1 or 2 minutes of each other. What an unbelievable job here by Dave DeVero and company, integrating his entire roster, and for all of them to be successful and impactful as well. Great start for the Surge.
Surge with significant roster change after their record equaling start of 0-10. And that roster has really come together. 5-3 in their last 8, but 4-0 in their last 4. Inside, Bediako, room to operate. He goes up and over Arms in the mismatch. It counts.
I was in the house right there. You saw Javante Brown got pulled out on the coverage, and that left Jaden Bediako with no one but Adonis Arms in his way. Easy hook.
Surge with a slight edge of points in the paint so far. Arms on the move. Arms with the left hand. He got slammed when he was in the air. He can't believe there's no whistle there. He tries to get back into the play from the perimeter. Bendu works it up top. Now gets it back. Guarded by Joplin. Outstanding defender. Now switch. Slung to the inside. Again a mismatch. And again Bediako makes the most of it.
Get to it. Back to the basket. Throughout the anchor if you're Jaden Bediako. And you got push shots all afternoon long.
This team sharp in the paint. Sharp from long range. Both teams over or 50% or better from 3. Arms trying to add to that. Bediako comes away with the rebound. Fast pace to this one. The Surge were a little bit late showing up. They're here now, and we've got a game. That's a foul as Bediako got to the rack.
And you see the move here from Isaiah Fox out of that timeout break. Highlight Jaden Bediako right now. Nobody on the floor away from Javonte Brown can really match size-wise with Bediako. So if you can pull Javonte away from the key and you can get Jaden going to the key, there's going to be no one there to stop him.
New Era, the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. Be sure to pick up your official replica jerseys now. All you have to do is visit CEBL.ca.
It's just so you know, I wear an XL jersey.
It's not Christmas.
Well, Christmas is still 6 months away. It was Christmas in July over there in Niagara, you know.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I guess I do owe you something
That's
then.
right.
Okay,
That's
we'll look into that. It's pretty easy. All you have to do is go to CEBL.ca.
Perfect.
Okay. Would you say medium?
A little bigger.
Okay.
A little bigger. Put on some pounds like that.
Pounds at the gym.
Right, exactly.
Here comes guys who've been in the gym. Joplin controlling there, gets it to Javonte Brown. Javonte waiting for some help, gets it from Sincere Carey. Surge down by 4. They've come back in this one with a strong second quarter. And they draw the foul as they get inside here.
Sincere Carey has given you long, intentional plays since getting into the game about halfway through the first quarter. Guy, we already know he loves to facilitate for others. But when he decides to get to the basket, which he can very well, he's going to get to the line and get a finish. And here it is right here. Sincere just kind of surveys, sees that the help is late. Excuse me, Jaden. Let me get to my spot, get fouled, and get to the line.
Tried to keep it out of reach with that left hand. Took the punishment. Now he's going to try and make the most of it.
Rebound! In there, TDMU!
Carey, 2 for 2 and 100% on the season from the foul line. Outstanding performance on Friday night, 9-4-1. Our first looks made us think he was a playmaker. Then we saw he could score, and now we just know he's good. Dunmart, guarded by Arms.
Good job here. Taking away the passing lane. Trying to go to Bediako.
Nowhere to go, and the clock is down to 3. They've got to make something happen. Into the traffic they go, and the Surge with an excellent defensive possession there.
Perfect defensive scheme right there by the Surge. As you saw Joplin fronting Bediako to prevent the pass, but Dunn Martin once again shows you his ability to score when things get down to business. Great finish up against the shot clock.
It's one of those good defense, even better offense situations. Found a way to make something look like it was headed for nothing. Carey from beyond the arc. Bounces towards Joplin. He can't fight it. Javonte Brown picks it up. Gets it to Arms. Joplin. Javonte. Good ball movement here for the Surge from the corner. Carey likes it and takes it.
Unselfishness is the key to the Calgary Surge being able to get those wide open looks. Move the ball around into the pocket there for Sincere Carey. Gives you 3.
Seen some eye-popping assist numbers from the Surge in recent games. They've been averaging 22.5 assists a game over the last 4 games, assisting on almost 65% of their baskets. Empty-handed for the Mamba. Carey into the front court, going to work, bobbing and weaving, getting in. He's got some time here, and the Surge are back in front.
Carve up the defense right there and follow Javonte Brown in. That's exactly what Sin Carey just did. Javonte's going to clear some space for you. You just have to take advantage, just like we said.
Joplin coming over now to get in the way of the big man Bediako, trying to slow him from the basket. Does all he can, but Bediako shows a good bag of tricks there to finish up.
Not a whole lot you can do right there. Jaden Bediako, a great finisher in the restricted area. Gets an up and under right there for some great D.
Final 2 minutes of the opening half already. Where has it gone? This one really picking up and delivering. Coming into this one, we talked about it having a playoff feel, and it has that sense to it now. Dunn Martin. Eye contact for Bediako, comes over, then heads down low. Javonte and a mismatch here, trying to work against Dunn Martin. To the inside, Dunn Martin hands it off to the big man, and he scores again.
All game long right now for Jaden Bediako. Too easy, back to the basket, up and under. dipping after screens. He's giving you a varied bag right now is Jaden Bediako.
Arms. That's good. And he'll go to the stripe. And he looks skyward there as if to say, finally, I got a call.
That's right. I've been taking hits all game long. And finally, like you just said, I'm going to get my due as we go to the free throw line here. And I try to give you 3 the old school way.
50-49 the Surge, a nose in front.
It's simple here for Adonis Arms. Put some pressure on the D's. You can see him slide right in here, take the hit from Bediako, and finish.
Nicely done from Adonis Arms, who spent time in Greece with AEK Athens this last season, played in China the year before. We encourage you to follow at CEB League on all social media platforms to stay up to date on stats, on storylines, and much more for all 10 teams in Canada's Pro Basketball League. 51-49. Chaplin with a red-hot start to the game, has it now. Dunn Martin tries to get away from Joplin. Easier said than done. Joplin keeping him where he wants him. Dunn Martin launches one. And oh my, once again, even better offense is the difference.
A great defensive stand again by Joplin, excuse me, but no matter. Dunn Martin gives you 2.
What a finish that was. Cheney into the game, finds Javonte Brown. Here's Kamba against the Mamba to the corner. Arms. No, it couldn't fall. Didn't fall anyway. They battled. Can't come away with it. Visitors on the move. Up top they go. And Townsend knows how to flush it.
Saw the eye contact there from the half-court point as Townsend filled that lane and got rewarded going upstairs and giving you 2 on the run.
Dave DeVero says, let's talk about this. We still have 28.3 important seconds to go in this opening half. Coming up at halftime, we encourage you to stick around, to stay with us. We've got the rise of the CEBL, a CBC conversation with Espera Henny. Cammy will visit with Saskatoon head coach Isaiah Fox. We've got halftime stats, and we'll check on the players to watch as well. That's all coming up at halftime, so don't go anywhere as we continue to bring you the action from Calgary. And Dave DeVero, I think, has seen some things he's really liked from his team in this first half, and some things he's not such a big fan of, and he wants to make sure this finishes on a positive.
Yeah, anytime there's been a transition bucket from the Saskatoon Mamba, you see Dave DeVero get up off that bench and start to talk right away. You see what happens when it's a 2-on-1, it's a finish, and it lets you know that the Surge aren't getting back defensively. You got to make sure to make things happen. When that defense is starting to fall apart, you got to get back. Forget about everything else. Because easily missed shots can turn into quick baskets the other way. And if you don't hustle, like you see right here, Fuller get to it upstairs to Townsend, and you're only going to see 2 Surge players getting back on D. That is most certain timeout rule.
They've got pace, they've got numbers, they're getting results, and the Surge know they can do better. So they're going to organize and get ready here for this final 28.3 seconds. The Mamba with the 3-point advantage. The Surge getting ready to get back to work. Personnel on the floor, Javonte Brown, Matthew Komba, Addy Patterson. Also into the contest, Armani Cheney. And wearing a 0, David Joplin. Surge, team with a plan here. To close out this opening half on a high. Armani Cheney directing traffic. David Joplin takes from him. Addy Patterson to Cheney. Cheney working away inside Javonte Brown, and that's how you do it.
Drawn up by Dave DeVero, executed by the Surge. Great start there after that timeout.
Now they need a defensive stand. Trying to get there. TDM put it up. He scores it. And that'll take care of the opening half for the Surge. Executed they wanted to after the timeout, but once again the defense is burned by the quick action of the Mamba. And the Mamba will take a 3-point advantage to the locker room at halftime. Mamba with a great start to this game. Their energy was very impressive and at a different level than the Surge to begin the contest. And Saskatoon led it by 7 after the opening quarter. At one time, leading the game by as many as 10. Things have tightened up. The Surge with a good start to that second quarter, but the Mamba have been able to do things their way and have the advantage as we hit the 20-minute mark. Before we get to our halftime show, lots to catch up on from that opening 20 minutes of play. So let's get to Cami Kepke with a special guest.
We're down here with Jaden Bediako. I mean, the Mamba dominated that opening quarter. It's a tight game now. What do you guys need to replicate from that hot start to close this one out?
Just defensive assignments. There's been a lack of communication sometimes, and finishing stops and getting back in transition. That's what our coach preached to us.
Even just beyond personnel, what changes have you noticed in the style of play from this Calgary team since the last time you saw them?
They're playing more faster, physical, they're desperate. I think they got 50 shots in the paint against Winnipeg. They get long rebounds, so they're playing like they're desperate, but they have a good coach in Dave Grills. That's what he's known for.
You're no stranger to piling up points. You've got plenty of them tonight. You've got some big rebounds. What goals have you set for yourself as the Mamba look to string together some wins in the home stretch of the season?
No, not really any individual goals, but more team goals. Trying to get this team back to the postseason. Hasn't been since 23, 22. And just have a good start to this rebrand franchise.
What gives you confidence that the answers are in this room?
Sorry, play again?
What gives you confidence that those answers are in this room with this group of guys?
Just the group we have, the personnel, the coaches. We had a couple rough stretches, but this team's way more together than any team I've ever been on. So guys like each other, guys want to win, compete, and we're trying to come with the same goal.
Thanks for this.
No problem.
Bediako with the Mamba up 56-53 after half. Mitch and Jermaine have more after this. You're watching CEBL Basketball live on CBC Gem, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
We're back, and you know the vibes. Love to see all of that fun at CEBL game. And you know what? The guy who brings a lot of that fun, a lot of the vibes to the sidelines, your favorite Hoopers, favorite sideline reporter, no matter if it is CEBL or G League, is our guest today, Esper Henny. And when the Henny's in the building, it is a good time. AJ Lawson, who had to take maybe a bit of a scenic route, but got to the spot where he is a rotation player in the playoffs nonetheless.
It shows you that there's different ways to kind of get this done, to get to where you want to in life. And that doesn't just apply in basketball, but it certainly does apply when we look at the CEBL. This is a legitimate pathway for Canadians to not only develop, but also just be able to hone in on their own craft. I think understand a level of camaraderie when it comes to Canadian basketball. That's something that I think not only at the national team level, but grassroots, a lot of people are trying to develop is like this sense of Canadian pride within basketball. And you have that with the CEBL. AJ Lawson is a great example of this, but I would say there's probably like 5 or 6 CEBL examples that have, gotten their experience in the CEBL, was able to turn that into a two-way or a contract in the NBA, maybe an Exhibit 10, and then go on to become rotation players in the NBA. It just creates another pathway for Canadians. And I think AJ is one of the brightest examples of that, but we will see more as the CEBL continues to grow too.
One thing the CEBL has that I want to see in all leagues is target time.
Yes. Yes.
Shout out to Elam, because that ending for me is superior. You did a great video breaking it down earlier in the year, and people can find that certainly online, and we'll put it in the hyperlink of this video. But you've been in stadium, but you also love the kind of the chess match X's and O's of the games. I feel like the vibe in the building shifts and changes when you're getting close and are in target time, but also, some of the mechanics of what teams do changes a little bit. Mm-hmm. Some of the decisions in terms of what shots to take or not take. Break down your assessment of target time and what it's done for the sport.
Target time is the best thing to ever happen to the CEBL. It's so much fun to watch every single game come down to a game winner. Every single game come down to a deciding play or a few deciding plays. And it's always funny to me with, obviously the rule is that at 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they take away the time. They add, a number, and that is your target score. And sometimes the team that is up will foul in order to make it so that other team doesn't score and reduce the deficit. And so this a little bit of like trickery that you see some teams pull off just because they want to gain as much of an advantage as possible. I think that's one of those examples you see of like, this is unique to CEBL basketball. Like even you know, just talking to some of the guys, whether it's in Scarborough or whether it's in Brampton or Niagara, there's always a little bit of a learning curve to be like, oh, I have to adjust my mentality in the fourth quarter, and I have to approach the game on a possession to possession basis versus in the fourth, you might, you know, you see it in the NBA, you even see it in the G League, like you might play preventive offense. Like you might slow things down and try and not score and try and just play good defense and let the time run out. Whereas in the CBL, you have to score. You have to get the game winner. And that part's the best part.
Inside Winsport Event Center in Calgary. Glad to have you with us. Mitch Peacock, Jermaine Cummings, Cammy Kepke rounding out our crew. It's a 3-point lead at halftime for the Saskatoon Mamba, who got off to a terrific start in this ball game. Jermaine really setting a tone.
They sure have. Right from the opening tip here today, Saskatoon came out of the gates. And initially, Calgary was able to match their intensity, but you saw towards the end of that second quarter, Saskatoon really starting to turn things on.
Calgary had some bright spots in the game, and it really seemed to be their energy that was at a different level once they got settled in a little bit, but they needed that slap in the face from Saskatoon to get going.
Oh, and they most certainly got it. You asked them how. You look at those points in the paint, 28 points in the paint right now for Saskatoon, and you got a guy like Jaden Bediako who can get overlooked when it comes to offensive production. He made sure that he wasn't this time. Calgary stayed in it with great three-point shooting.
Calgary 7 of 16 from beyond the arc. They're shooting 60.6%. The challenge is they haven't been able to stop the attack of the Saskatoon Mamba, who have been very impressive, putting up 56 points in the opening half against a team that's been giving up about 82 a game over the last 4.
Yeah, and this is what happens when you're able to get guys like Javonte Brown away from the basket. You put him in plenty of actions in that second quarter to take away Calgary's rim protection. That way, guys like Chaplin can get to the hoop. You can set up Bediako, and then when the defense does overcorrect, start back in. It's time for TDM to go to work from range and bury those triples. It's all about having a varied offensive attack, and Saskatoon did that to a team in that first half.
They sure did. Very impressive game plan, excellent execution. 4 players in double figures at the break for the Mamba.
Yeah, it's all about sharing the basketball around, getting guys on the floor, and instantly contributing, whether you're talking about Buller, Bediako, of course Dunn-Martin, guys like Hughes are even starting to make things happen. And sharing the basketball a lot like what Calgary's been doing the past 4 or 5 games, honestly, is what you've seen from Saskatoon.
Look at the numbers here halfway through. They help to tell the story as well. You see the score, you see the field goal percentages. These teams are shooting the lights out here. Look at the 3-point numbers, stunning numbers, and really just not the kind of game the Surge have been playing over this hot streak. I don't think they're probably okay with the fact they've done enough to be within 3 points, but they know this is not their game, and this is not how they have to play to get by this team.
Most certainly. Coaches can't stand games like this when it's shot after shot, high-ranked offense. That means the defense is not on par. And when you're dealing with a guy like Dave DePiro, you know he requires defense from his guys. It's going to be very interesting to see how they come out of this halftime break, adjust that defense, and still keep the same intensity on the offensive side.
We're looking at numbers, so let's talk about a few more numbers. Adonis Arms has 12 points to lead the way for Calgary. Adonis playing more than 15 minutes in the first half. That's more than he played on Friday night. Dave DeBiro said there was no problem with Adonis' Arms game. He just kind of lost track of the minutes when a number of other players were playing well. So Adonis gets an opportunity here today, shows he's up to it, and he can be very important in setting that energy just the right way for this Calgary team on the other side of the break.
Oh, so easy to follow a guy like Adonis Arms. You see the passion and intensity he plays with. That is who you want beside you if you're the Calgary Surge. You want to play defense with a guy like this. You want to run the floor with a guy like this. It really comes down to if Adonis can keep that going here in the second half, because they're going to need him to be huge. stay in this ball game.
More to come in the halftime show from Calgary. Stick around. You're watching CEBL basketball. It's live on CBC Jam on YouTube and on CEBL Plus.
Welcome back to Winsport, where the Saskatoon Mamba lead the Calgary Surge entering the second half. We're joined by Mamba head coach Isaiah Fox. Well, a hot start turned into a pretty tight game for you guys. Just what was your assessment of your team's play through the first half?
We're doing a good job sharing the ball, 11 assists, 5 turnovers, something we talked about for the last couple of weeks. And I'm happy with our rebounding right now. We're playing a lot of zone, which is hard to rebound out of, but we're doing a good job into it. Everybody's playing hard. Our guys are trying to play physical, so it's a fun game right now.
Calgary has held its opponents to 85 points or less for 4 straight games. Just what's been the key to generating offense against these guys?
Yeah, for us, it's sharing the basketball. We think we got a bunch of good, talented perimeter guys who can put the ball in the hole, but we got to make sure we drive and kick and get, kick out to the corners, make sure we see our teammates.
And if we step back from the game for a second, you have a special guest here. Your dad is in the house for his first CEBL game. Just what's it mean to you to have that support and have him come up from California to cheer you on?
It's great. It's great. Not only is my father here, but Tavian Don Martin, his mother is here. And listen, we try to build a family in these short couple months we'll work together, so it's good to have family here supporting us.
Thanks for this, Coach.
Thank you.
A family affair indeed at Winsport. We have Niels Fox, Isaiah's dad in the house, TDM's mom in the house. The Surge surprised her, bringing her in to cheer her son on, and Mitch Jermaine, you just love to see it.
You do love to see it, and you can tell that the coach is happy with the performance of his team right now. Number one, because he cares about his team, but number two, because when Pops is here, you don't want a slouching effort from your team. You want them to show up with some intensity.
Well, certainly. Come on now. When you got Dad in the house, you want to let him know that, hey, Dad, I'm an elite coach, and you're going to see a great performance on the floor today.
He's getting a pretty good performance from Jameer Chaplin so far as we check in on the players to watch. Chaplin with 13 points so far in the game, he came out playing with a purpose and really part of setting the tone for this Saskatoon team.
Yeah, you knew he'd be a big part of it. We saw what Chaplin was able to do from both sides when it comes to offense, inside and outside, and the attention he draws makes it a whole lot easier for his teammates to contribute as well.
10 of those 13 points for Jameer coming in the opening 10 minutes of the ball game today. Rugsy Miller-Moore, a little quiet by his standards, and surge with a number of players, though, who are looking to bring it to another level in this second half. Calgary will like the ball movement. We heard Isaiah talking about it. 15 assists on 20 made baskets in that opening half for Calgary. So they're sharing the ball. They just want to get a little bit more involved.
Yeah, exactly. Doing a great job moving the thing around. Both teams, frankly, are moving the ball around, but every now and then you need scores to score, and that's what Jameer Chaplin does best. Gets into the defense, gets contact, finishes through it all, and makes sure that you know about it as well. This is someone that Calgary is going to have to find and put a body on the entire second half. Because granted, 13 points is a great performance here from Chaplin early on, but they're going to do a little bit better.
Rugsy played 10 minutes in the opening 20, 2 of 3 from the field. He hasn't had a lot of touches, but you know that he's the kind of guy who can heat up.
That's the good thing about Sean Miller-Moore. He's only got 4 points at this point, but he can flip that switch at any point and really start to fill it up offensively. He was looking to facilitate for his guys, get everyone involved, and right now him and his boys are only down by 3. So if he can turn that corner, start to score offensively, that'll really turn things in the favor of the Calgary Surge today.
Path to the playoffs is presented by Red Tag. That's what we call the standings here on our CEBL broadcast. The Eastern Conference story is presented by Lotto Max. Western Conference Tale brought to you by Cal Tire. That's the situation as things get underway today. And you can see when you look at the Cal Tire Western Conference story, this game is just gigantic. Saskatoon at 7-10, Calgary at 5-13. The Surge trailing by a couple of wins versus the Mamba, and finding themselves having played one more game.
Yeah, in hand as well, and just like you said, Nick, this is major right now, and to have your destiny in your own hands like this, going up against the Saskatoon Mamba, who you're trying to replace right above you in the standings, Mitch, this is what the CEBL is made of. Games like this.
And believe it or not, after losing 2 games to the Calgary Surge, the Winnipeg Seabears might be fans of the Calgary Surge today, because if Calgary wins and Winnipeg gets it done against Montreal, which it looks like they're on their way to doing, well then Winnipeg will have a home playoff game to get things rolling in the postseason. Second half is underway. Here's Rugsy Miller-Moore, the aforementioned. He has a chance to get up to the glass, and he will get the Surge started the right way.
It's about that time. We just talked about it. Sean Miller-Moore now is going to look to get his shot, which he can get at will. So it's going to be up to guys on the floor playing alongside Sean to be a release valve and finish when they're needed.
Chaplin to the inside, and that was wide open. Right there, Bediako continuing to add to his totals. He has been impressive.
And again, they pull Javonte Brown away from the interior. He's got to cover for the screen and roll action, and Jaden Bediako is wide open underneath.
Back the other way, and how about that from the fine point guard who formerly played with the Winnipeg Seabears, who I talked about a moment ago, Armani Cheney cashing in, all tied at 58. 1 minute into the second half. Chaplin up, blocked there by Javonte Brown. Javonte asserting himself now at the defensive end. He has had a sterling second season with CEBL, and that's what happens. You get it done at one end, you set yourself up at the other.
Yeah, a little bit of role reversal on this side as Bediako had to come out from the paint and cover Armani Cheney, leaving Javonte wide open for 2. So now we're seeing 2 offenses right now highlighting their post players.
That one got kicked. It'll stay with Saskatoon. Isaiah Fox calling out sets for his team from the sideline. I don't think it matters whether there's a big crowd or a small crowd. You're going to hear Isaiah Fox.
Oh, yeah, he's got some projection through his voice, does Zeke Fox, and you can hear him from every corner of Wichita Arena.
He's got a lot of good qualities, and that's certainly one of them. Here's Cheney. Miller-Moore. Arms working to his right. Arms staying with it, floats it up, doesn't fall. Brown wanted it. Arms gets it back. Can't score it at the first attempt or the second. 3 for $1 there for Adonis Arms, and he'll have to come back and try again. As long as it's a Canadian dollar, he'll be okay with it.
That's true.
Cross to this side, handled there by Bandu. Bandu from the perimeter, and that's 3.
Yeah, and the 3-point barrage continues here from the Mamba. They're so good at drawing that Calgary defense out and knocking down the 3 when they do right now. It's really something to watch the Mamba go to work.
Miller Moore. That's good. Still don't think that the Surge are comfortable with the idea of swapping baskets here this afternoon. They've done a great job defensively in the 4-game win streak, conceding just over 82 points a game. And look at Cheney getting after TDM here. Off to the side, a wrestling match. Chaplin went down, Arms went down. And we carry on. Chaplin looking for the 3, well off, and Arms will just watch that go out and then try and sort out his thoughts. He's trying to figure out how he ended up on the deck.
Seriously, like you said, we saw some maneuvers, little 6-4 going on, maybe F5, rock bottom. These boys getting to wrestling right now. We're going to see who comes out on top.
Joplin for 3. Bandu ready and waiting. Into the hands of TV and Dunmartin. Dunmartin averaging nearly 16 points a game in his time in Turkey before coming here. Also spent a spell in Germany this last winter. Looks inside here, well read there by Adonis Arms, who does his best goaltender imitation and makes an important stop to prevent an easy basket.
And he'll take that. Like, yes, it's an infraction, but it stops the clock and it gives your defense a chance to reset here and see if you can make something happen with half a shot clock left.
Saskatoon has lost its last 2 on the road. They'll win more on the road if they keep that up.
I tell you, that's from the O of the overdrive on the floor, but that is indeed Dunmartin range.
Cheney organizing here, the Surge not hurrying things. Miller Moore looking at the 3, and that's how you do it. You put it on the money and you pose.
Okay, Miller Moore stepping into a 3 of his own. You like that for Ruggsy. That's going to open things up for him a little bit and give that Saskatoon defense something to think about.
Saskatoon winners of the first 2 games between the teams this season. Winning here in Calgary, 94-88. The first game under Dave DeViro. And then winning in Whitehorse just over 2 weeks ago as Javante Brown scores. Bandu. Townsend takes. Gets it to Bediako. Guarded by his opposite big man, Javante Brown. Brown trying to get in the way there, and the foul is called. Javante didn't leave the floor, did his best to get his arm straight up. But Bediako knew how to maneuver down low.
Great face-up move right there from Jaden Bediako as he goes into Javante Brown, breaks some contact, and gets a couple free throws.
CEBL Western Conference action is brought to you by Cal Tire. Cal Tire, presenting sponsors of CEBL Western Conference play. So Bediako at the free throw line. That one will tumble his way. Jaden spending time with the Raptors 905 of the G League. And spell in Mexico as well before returning to Saskatoon. Down in Mexico is a teammate of Olo Adeladu of the Calgary Surge. Trying to get there was Joplin. He was bumped into on the way. That brought about a frown, also a whistle, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Dunkers everywhere will tell you the best way to negate shot blocking prowess is to take it directly at their chest. You saw Joplin right there. Seek out Bediako. Said, meet me at the rim. He didn't get it to go, but the extension nonetheless, and now he's at the free throw line.
So Joplin steps to the free throw line. We remind you that your seat is waiting for you to catch every single game live from Winsport Event Center. Get your tickets at calgarysurge.ca/tickets or by scanning the QR code. Joplin looking for his own rebound, picked up by Chaplin, sent ahead for Dunmartin. Dunmartin has 2 come his way, gets around them, puts the shot up. The Surge find the rebound, but there's a collision there, and they'll lose possession. Got themselves back into a good spot defensively, but just couldn't secure the basketball.
Yeah, got to vocalize a little bit more. Cheney and Joplin battled each other for that rebound, and neither able to come up with it. So now you got 14 seconds with the baseline out of bounds. See if you can make it happen one more time.
Easton Tim into the game, gets it to Townsend. Townsend's guarded by Patterson. And we've got a whistle. It's going to go back the other way. Foul called on TDM down low.
CEBL's like, what you want me to do, man? I'm trying to get loose. I'm already 5'9" in my shoes. What am I supposed to do?
Halfway through the third quarter, Cheney maneuvering. Cheney puts it up himself and scores. Very poised.
Perfect read and react right there. Man. He's able to look off the defense and give you a push shot from about 6 feet out.
Cheney's been a real stabilizing influence for this Calgary team since coming over from Winnipeg. Marlon Johnson into the game now. Surge with Cheney, Miller Moore, Johnson, Arms, and Patterson. As we get a timeout here, teams are going to talk it over in a one-point contest. Just past the midway mark of this third quarter in Calgary. Massive game in the Western Conference in the battle for playoff position. Stick with us. More to come from Calgary. This is the CEBL live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
What's up, Mike? And what's up, Calgary?
Well, the Saskatchewan Rough Riders touch all corners of the province and have ties to all sports in the province. And today the Rough Riders and the entire sporting community are mourning the loss of Riders captain and Grey Cup champion Jayden Dalkey. The defensive back from Leduc passed away in a car crash near Lumsden on Saturday night. And the Mamba have released a statement saying in part, "Our hearts are with the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, the Dalkey family, and everyone mourning the loss of Jayden Dalkey. A fierce competitor, respected leader, and proud Saskatchewan athlete, Jayden's impact reached far beyond the game." Now, we've seen the bond CFLers and CEBLers can have when they're in the same market. It can be a very special thing, and the Riders had the Mamba out to a preseason game this season. But certainly a very difficult day as the sports world pays tribute to Jayden Dalkey. He was 30 years old, and Mitch, it's a hard pivot to go back to the game, but important to recognize the impact that he had.
Oh, no question about that, Cammie. Thank you very much for taking time to share that very sad news with our audience. And as everybody in this situation would say, our thoughts and best wishes out to the Dalkey family and those affected by this tragedy. Gone far too young. TDM striking, and timeout here called for by Dave DeViro. The Surge trailed by 3 at the break, cut back to within 1, and the Mamba have stretched it to 6.
Right back, right there, right out of it. Dave DeViro saw something right away that he did not like, and I guarantee it has to do with that ball movement in the way of Saskatoon.
We saw right from the start of the ball game that Saskatoon had a different level of intensity, a different kind of energy than Calgary did. And they were able to capitalize on that, jumping out to a 10-2 lead early on. They really, in many ways, have not looked back since, even though they have faced a couple of pushes from the Surge. What do you see from Saskatoon in this game that leads you to believe that maybe they've just got a little something going here that the Surge haven't been able to match?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's the fact that they've been struggling as of late, or the fact that they're going up against a Calgary Surge team that essentially they haven't played at all this year. It's a brand new team. But what Saskatoon has been able to bring is almost like a fresh mindset to this start right here, and they desperately needed it as they've struggled here as of late. Going up against a team that's as hot as this Surge team is right now, if you're Saskatoon, you have the ability to come together, share the basketball, which they've also struggled with recently, and finish. You're doing a great job here.
Talking with Isaiah Fox before the game, as all 3 of us did today, he's very gracious in sharing his time with us. He said what he thinks about this team in part is that they're very tight-knit and that they like to work together and that the spirit is good in the group despite the fact they've lost 5 of the last 6. So he believes there's a real basis there for working together and getting the team to lift its level. He's certainly got to be pleased with what he's seen so far. You don't often hear a coach say it's a fun game at halftime, but that's what he said so far.
Yeah.
Dave DeViro trying to spoil the fun.
Yeah, most certainly. See if he does.
Sin Carey's got the basketball here. He goes to work down low, puts it up, and gets it to fall. No call, but he got the two, and the Surge gets something out of the timeout.
And that's there for Sin Carey if he can make it happen. You see how much bigger he is than Dunn-Martin. So if you can get him in a situation where you get your back to the basket and are able to take Dunn-Martin with you, it's easy twos all game long.
Switch happens here. Arms now on Dunn-Martin. Deep into the clock. 5 seconds to get a shot away. Slung out for Bandu, watched by Miller-Moore. He gets his hands straight up. They run out of time, and 2 good possessions for Calgary out of the timeout. One of the offensive end, one of the defensive end.
And nothing will put a smile on a coach's face faster than a 24-second violation. Great defensive positioning right there from the Calgary Surge, and especially when you had a guy like Dunn-Martin with a nice little situation trying to make something happen. He's locked up completely, nowhere for him to go, and Bandu couldn't get it up.
Surge now back to work in the front court. Carey inside. Marlon Johnson is in. It didn't fall for Marlon, who got a shot on the way there, but he did draw the foul. Took a shot up high. The big man will regroup.
1 good minutes here, meaningful minutes for Marlon Johnson Jr. Every time he's able to set that screen, there's a liable threat to cut, slice, get to the rim, finish strong, finish around defenses as well. Sin Carey doing a good job of realizing that that's who he had on the other end of that pass.
We talked to him after the game on Friday night, and you'll remember him saying how much he enjoys as a veteran player being with a group that is locked in, that is serious, is playing the right way, has a deep bench, and just wants to make good things happen. You really, I think, more and more as you're around the game for a while, appreciate those kinds of things.
Most certainly, especially as a young player, when you come in and you got a vet willing to share all of his knowledge with you, both by telling you and by showing you, like Marlon Johnson is. No surprise that the young guys follow suit, join the same squad.
Surge buckled down at the defensive end, but can't get the basketball in their hands. Now Miller-Moore gets a chance to touch it. And which way is this going to go? Wasim Husseini's the crew chief. He's on the baseline. And this is going to stay with the Mamba. So the Surge do a lot of things right there, but don't come away with the orange. And Saskatoon gets a fresh 14. 2-point Saskatoon advantage. They're 3-8 against the West this season, the Mamba. Here's Tim. Stand out with the U of S. Tavian Dunn-Martin making a move to get away from Johnson. Puts it up top. Tim can't finish. That's good defense. Rugsy Miller-Moore. Sincere Carey. Carey waiting for the reinforcements. Surge of all kinds of time on the shot clock. 14. Carey going to work along the baseline. Got by Tim. Will bounce it off a defender. And the Surge will reorganize with still 8 seconds to shoot.
Nice little perimeter setup right there by the Mamba defense. As both Carey and Miller-Moore were looking for angles to get to the basket. Neither could. That's how you know you're right there. You got a fortified interior. Great job.
Back into play for Arms. Straight away for 3. Look good. Just caught the back iron. Time for frustration. Next play mentality. Critical here for the Surge. Townsend getting in, and Townsend up and over Arms, who arrived just a little late.
Our decisive move right there. That's read and react to a T as Townsend gets himself a lane on the left side and goes upstairs with 2.
6'6" Townsend getting up top. Miller-Moore working there. Miller-Moore into the lane. Miller-Moore, and that's 2.
It was all fake for y'all right there. He loses TDM with the fake pass and gets a push shot from the painted area. Finish.
7 games and 16 days for the Mamba down the stretch, beginning with this one. That one from the parking lot.
Well, here he goes, man. It is Tavian Dunn-Martin. Steps over the timeline, is liable to put it up. Don't believe me? Rewind about 10 seconds and take a look.
5 triples for number 7 and 25 points in the game with 100 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Pass for Tim. Tim was open. Miller-Moore made sure he didn't get a freebie.
Situation here for Calgary is that transition D has got to be on another level right now. You look at the fast break points, only 4-2 right now in favor of the Surge despite the high score. So what that tells you is in the midst of that transition play, teams are doing a good job, specifically this time Saskatoon, getting out, setting up a quick half court, and just kind of running it into Calgary. They've got to get back into their defensive set a little bit quicker and provide some kind of deterrent.
Come see the new chapter of professional basketball in Saskatoon. Tickets available by scanning the QR code or by visiting saskatoonmamba.ca/tickets. Rebranded this year as the Mamba. And competing hard in search of a playoff spot. 7-point lead for the Mamba, who've led by as many as 10 in the ball game, and have just had a little more than the Surge in this one. Plus the hot shooting. Teams shooting 58% plus apiece. To the corner, Joplin on the move. Joplin, Carey. 5 to shoot it for Sin Carey into the lane, and Carey counts.
That's major right there from Sin Carey, man. He just kind of cuts through the defense, gets to the restricted area uncontested. Big time finish.
Chaplin tries to work past Johnson, tucked it under an arm, got bumped on the way, and Marlon doesn't like it.
I'll tell you, Jameer Chaplin is a master right now of initiating that contact on the drive. And that's exactly what Marlon Johnson's trying to say to the official right now. It's like, look, Jameer's throwing out that chicken wing and hooking me as well. And that's just a sign of a savvy player, especially on offense. Jameer Chaplin giving you a high dose of basketball IQ.
Chaplin yet to miss from the stripe in the game. That's 4 free throws to go his way to this stage. He was signed by the Dallas Mavericks in 2024, but was injured and released. Employing the CEBL opportunity to work his way back to new heights. Lead is 7. Just over a minute to go in the third quarter. Saskatoon trying to go 3-0 on the Surge this season to win this huge game in the battle for playoff position. Saskatoon at 7-10 in the last playoff spot. The Surge at 5-13. Mamba couldn't get his pass to Carey. Clayton's on the move. Clayton going hard, and he will score, and he will go to the free throw line. Great decision making there on the move from Clayton.
Yeah, you got a defender in Sin Carey who's on the back pedal. So if you're Clayton, push that tempo, push that pace. Again, initiate that contact yourself as the offensive player, and you'll get to the line. And you're going to see that Sin Carey's going to be hustling back, but he's going to be backpedaling here. And all you got to do is Clayton is just lean into him right at the end, get that contact, get an easy look, and finish off the 2-point play.
Clayton, just 23 years of age. Very first taste of pro ball this season, really this week. He got some decent minutes against Winnipeg and impressed. Chipping in here, Patterson from the elbow. That one doesn't fall for him. Javonte Brown was taken care of on the inside by Marcus Harding, who got position. And the Mamba with a chance to stretch it out here. 5-second difference. Shot clock, game clock. Patterson working against Clayton, trying to slow him up. Clayton saw a bit of an opening. Now he'll go to the corner. It's an open look from there, but it falls short. The Surge would like to cash in here in the final seconds of the quarter. Time and score important. Patterson shooting. Doesn't fall for him. Mamba get the rebound. No time for another shot. But I'll tell you what, they've got their shots in that third quarter, and the Mamba extend their advantage. They lead it by 10 as we ready for the fourth quarter here in Calgary. Team on the road looking quite at home so far this afternoon. A critical fourth quarter ahead. You're watching Canada's Pro Basketball League live on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
All right, Calgary, it's time for Make This Music Moments. Proudly presented.
Did you know that every CEBL game ends on a game-winning bucket? Yep, every single one. That's because we use something called target score ending, a thrilling twist that keeps fans locked in till the final shot. So what is the target score ending? Here's how it works. The first time the clock stops with 4 minutes or less left in the fourth quarter, the game clock is turned off. We enter target score time. We take the leading team score, add 9 points, and that becomes the target score. Let's say it's 91-80. That means the first team to hit 100 wins. No ticking clock, no intentional fouls, just pure clutch basketball. It's fast, it's electric, and it guarantees that every game ends with a bang. Experience the target score ending this CEBL season.
Back to Calgary, time for the Cruise of the Game, presented by Kel Tire.
All game long, it has been offensive takes for the Mamba that have got them this big lead. And you're talking about Trey Townsend. Granted, he's only got 6 points, but 4 of those points, Mitch, came from absolute back-breaking dunks on the move. It's the high-paced offense that's working right now for the Mamba.
Mamba shooting almost 59% in the game. They're up over 50% from 3. Led by Tevian Dunn-Martin, who's got 25, but there's no question the energy from players like Trey Townsend has been critical in forging them to this 10-point advantage as we start the fourth quarter. Once again, a critical game for both of these teams. Saskatoon on 7 wins in the last playoff spot, the Surge on 5, trying to get that last playoff position. Carey, Joplin, Patterson, Brown, and Comba for Calgary as the fourth quarter gets underway. Fuller ahead quickly for the guests. Chaplin finds Clayton. Chaplin taking it back. Mamba has to deal with some traffic in his way. Clayton on the move to the paint, got it out for Chaplin, a little room and time, and he makes the most of it.
Great coverage right there from Comba, but just did not matter. As once again, Jameer Chaplin steps up and knocks down a big-time tray.
Chaplin with 18 as his team leads it by 13. Joplin, corner, Comba for 3. That's good.
Oh, one thing is definitely going today, and that is Matthew Comba's ability to knock down that 3-ball.
4 for 4 from distance for the veteran Matthew Comba, and that came at a really critical time for Calgary. Trying to find the vibes they've had the last 4 games. Been really stingy defensively in the 4-game win streak. They're beaten here, and 92 on the board now for the Mamba. 10 more than the Surge have been giving up per game over the last 4. Patterson in the paint, up off the glass, can't score it, didn't get the foul. Clayton looking to help extend the advantage for the Mamba. Gets a little room, gets by Javonte Brown. The foul is called. And the Mamba, who started strong, dealt with a Surge pushback, are really back looking good in this one. As we're 4 minutes away from the target score window.
It's that Saskatoon backcourt doing work here in the second half. Whether it's Chaplin, of course, as you're taking a look here, Clayton doing a great job of exploiting a little deficiencies here when it comes to that Surge defense and the rotation being late and just putting pressure constantly on the inside, forcing the fouls.
We've got a timeout here as the teams organize. The Surge trailing it by a dozen. Biggest lead of the ball game for the Saskatoon Mamba, coming at a critical time in the contest. The Surge know that. You know, it's one thing to hear instruction about what you need to do. It's another thing to go out and do it, because you got to sort through all the stuff that's going on in your mind right now. If you're on the other side of it, from the Saskatoon standpoint, right now they must be feeling like, yeah, you know, let's just keep doing what we're doing. Don't mess with anything, because we got it going the right way.
Definitely do, but I'll tell you what, if Saskatoon knows what's good for them, they'll really try to turn it on here and put the Surge out of their movement. We know the Surge have done some great fourth quarters when they were able to kind of claw back, allowing some threes, things like that, but if you're Saskatoon, pretend it's a 0-0 ball game here, continue to turn at that tempo. You take a look at Isaiah Fox right now, coaching them like they're down 10. That's the kind of intensity that these guys want to show here to keep the Surge at bay and get out of here with a win.
See everybody in that huddle paying attention to every word the coach has to say. They're feeling good. They like his commitment. He likes theirs. They want to see this one through, go a long way in helping their playoff push. We've got a busy stretch here to the end of the regular season. The Mamba playing today. This is one of 7 games in 16 days to wrap up the regular schedule. They're trying to get back to the playoffs for the first time in some time. This team has not been in the postseason since 2022, if memory serves. Trying to get back there. Trying to restore some glory in Saskatchewan, the 2019 champions of the league, as the Rattlers. Lead is extended to 13. Joplin. Miller-Moore runs the baseline and finishes with a little extra.
You only knew what time it was when Rugby put it on the deck. It was going baseline. He was going to get to the basket and finish strong. Great dogged finish.
Critical part of the ball game right here for Calgary. They've got to find a way to get some energy to slow down this Mamba attack and dig back into the game before target score time arrives. Clear instructions from Fox talking about spacing the floor. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Bediako receives, hands it off for Chaplin. Chaplin trying to get away from Comba, did. Comba's on TDM now. TDM with the quicks, gets it to the corner. Townsend can hit these, and he does.
Sure can right there. You see Trey Townsend being the release valve after the TDM drive. Typical drive and kick action right there for 3 more points.
Straight away up top, Miller-Moore going to work. Miller-Moore finishes off glass, and the Surge get 2, but they're still trailing by a dozen. Monte Brown again stuck with Tavian Dunn-Martin across for Bandu, floats and scores. And Saskatoon's getting the looks they want.
Great movement without the basketball coming from the Mamba right now, whether it's Chaplin, of course Dunn-Martin, specifically Bandu. These guys are just moving consistently on the offensive end, and right now that Surge defense got nothing for them.
They're averaging 95 points a game. They're over that average now with plenty of time to go. Sincere carry, a little short, fighting for it, Javonte Brown, and he is fouled. The Surge are going to have to work like that if they're going to find a way back in.
Way back right now for the Surge. Get hard-nosed with it, especially on the offensive end. You see Mamba packing the paint, making things tough on guys like Javonte Brown. So keep crashing. Provide that that release valve, as I said before, and just see if you can get second and third chance ops to go down.
Brown playing in the Spanish second division this past campaign with Tizona Burgos. He's re-signed with the team. Looking forward to continuing his education as a pro, but he's got playoffs in the CEBL on his mind first. That one swatted off the rim. And we got a whistle with Bediako going down underneath the basket. Dave DeVille didn't think there was enough contact underneath to get Bediako to the floor. You can hear his remarks. This will be Mamba basketball.
Again, Comba saying he pulled a swift move on Bediako right there. Vero was trying to say, how could Comba get someone as big as Bediako to get on the ground? Let's see here if we get a good angle of what was going on after that free throw.
Just the tail end of it there, hard to pick up. Here's another opportunity to look at it. A little bit of something from Comba up high there, but Bediako found the floor in a hurry just the same. Will be Saskatoon ball to get things restarted. 5 games left in the regular season after this for the Surge. 3 at home, 2 on the road. We've got Vancouver coming up on Tuesday, 2 with Edmonton, another with Saskatoon. Those are far from their thoughts right now. They've got to find a way to dig in and get this one for a 5th consecutive win as they try to fight back from 0-10. Chaplin up and over, doesn't go. Miller-Moore's got it. Can he hold on? Yes. Now Miller-Moore bringing it into the front court. Miller-Moore pushing back the defense. The ball knocked away. And Ruxy Miller-Moore looking around here. He's wondering about some of the decisions. This one is going to be on the floor, so they'll bring it in from the baseline.
Very important here for the Calgary Surge to keep playing the unselfish style that they had in this first half of this ball game.
Remember that Bediako on 4 fouls as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's human nature when you're down late to try to get it back all yourself on one shot, but it's not going to go down that way.
Carey brings it underneath. Here comes Ruggsy with the left hand. Trims the gap by a pair. Still 11 the advantage for Saskatoon. Chaplin working to a lane, slashing in, and he'll score. Boy, he was waiting for something like that, and as soon as he saw the opening, he took it.
This is one of the greatest slicers and dicers in the league in 2026. Jameer Chaplin showing it off.
Tie-up indicated there. They'll go to the arrow, and the ball will stay with Calgary. Marlon Johnson coming in. Javonte Brown sitting down. Clayton's going to come in. And they're going to go small here for Saskatoon with Bediako coming out on 4 fouls.
Yeah, this was the matchup here, or the lineup, excuse me, that David Derr was talking about. So we're going to see if his guys are prepared for what Saskatoon's about to throw out your way with this small 5 lineup.
Just over a minute 20 to the target score time window. Miller Moore working that baseline. Knows he's got to find a teammate. Put it to a tough spot there. Coming up with it and finding a way to score. Joplin, but it looked like a turnover. So the Surge back within 11. Need stops. The fans calling for defense. Tavian Dunn-Martin looking for another 3 to add to his collection, and that is a big collection on this day.
Ice cold right there. Tavian moving away from the defense gives you 3 minutes.
Muggsy Miller-Moore knows every possession matters so much for Calgary at this stage. Carey to the corner. Mamba looking for another 3. He remains hot.
MK is not even touching the rim on these 3-point opportunities right here. Great job shooting the ball from Mamba. Again, it's going to be up to the Surge to make something happen on this end of the floor.
Surge scoring 91 and giving up just 82 over the 4-game win streak. This is a very different kind of game. And again, the Mamba find ways to score.
And this time, Jaden Clayton again is just going downhill into the chest of the defense, getting an easy 2.
Mamba on the move. There's contact there. It's going to be an offensive foul. And the Mamba, who set a tone from the very opening moments of this game, continue to impress with their focus and intensity.
That's what stood out the most to me, is their ability to hold this level of play throughout the entire game. The target score time right around the corner, things are boding very well for the Mamba.
Got a timeout called. The Surge down to their last timeout. Saskatoon with a big advantage. They're up 13 with 4:05 to go in this 4th quarter. Next up for Saskatoon, a home game against Edmonton on Tuesday. Game gets underway at 7:30 Central Time. Stingers lead the 4-game season series 2 games to none. Just another critical game down the stretch in the battle for playoff position in the Western Conference. For the Surge, right back at it. On Tuesday, they play as well. They play Vancouver this time. Vancouver, you know, will come in a little ornery after the Surge took 2 from them very recently. 7:30 tip, 6:30 Pacific. The Surge with the upper hand in the season series, 2 games to 1. So that's what's next. What's now is in focus more than anything else. The Surge coming in this one, understanding the importance of it. Has not played out the way they would have liked. But as long as there is target score time just around the corner, there's a chance for the Surge to fashion something special. But you get that feeling it's going to take something special, the way that Mamba have performed from the get-go.
And it is. It is indeed going to take the Calgary Surge digging deep right now to get back into this one. Historically, up and down when it comes to target time, target score time, performance from the Surge, but no time like the present right now to have your best one of the season. Let's see if they've got it in them.
Mamba 1 win in their last 6, but it was against Calgary. Game in Whitehorse just over 2 weeks ago. Surge just putting themselves in a really tough spot, of course, with that 0-10 start that led to a coaching change, led to mass personnel change. A big hole to dig out of. They're going to do their best to try and climb out of one here as we get a timeout on the floor. inside the final 4 minutes in Calgary. Stick around for a big finish. You're watching Canada's Pro Basketball League live on CBC Gen, YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Let's bring it on. It's game time. It's showtime. Nick Hornsby. Here's Oakland for the win. You gotta love a Canadian boost. Two hands. Oh, what a block from behind.
Next bucket wins. Target score time is the best time of a game. The energy, the drama.
That anything can happen. Oh my goodness! Can you believe this guy?
Big players step up in big time. He is cooking.
Back at Winsport Event Center in Calgary. Calgary Surge, Saskatoon Mamba, and a critical game in the stretch run here in the regular season. Calgary trying to find a way to come from behind and take this one and get to it in one win of the Saskatoon Mamba. But the Mamba have come with a purpose on this day and certainly have put themselves in the driver's seat as the target is set here in Calgary at 114. Calgary scored the first bucket of the game. The Mamba rattled off 10 straight after that and have really looked sharp ever since. Turned over here. The other way, Bandu trying to get to the rim. Goes to the perimeter instead, and Tavian Dunn-Martin strikes again. 7 triples in the ball game. He's got 31 points.
This one in transition right now. That Calgary defense losing track of Dunn-Martin, who gets his feet planted in the corner and knocks down the 3 on the move.
Joplin wants one of his own, and he's got it. Carey monitoring Tavian Dunn-Martin. Nobody's been able to slow him down in this one. To the corner it goes. Townsend. Townsend on the move, gets into the paint, kicks it back for Bandu. 4 seconds to shoot it for Devontae. Put it up, the Surge will find it. Comba got tangled up with Chaplin, and the foul is called. It looks like the Surge might have let Saskatoon off the hook here.
Yeah, it's a tough break right there as you see Comba and Chaplin jawing a little bit as they were trying to jockey for position to try to get that rebound. Working for Matthew Comba. Fisher saw him at fault.
So that's 4 on Comba as he sits down. Oh, hang on a minute. He walked towards the bench, but did not sit down. Okay, so after a conversation, we've got an unsporting foul. And that means 2 shots on the basketball for Calgary.
And it does. You say that Comba incidentally, got hit in the face as he's shooting some free throws. This is interesting. This is offsetting fouls. I wonder what's going on. The foul was called against Comba initially.
And then the officials talked it over and came to the understanding there was an unsporting situation. And so Comba shoots 2. That's the first one. And that's number 2. And they keep the ball. 11 points the difference between the teams. Joplin for Carey to get things back underway. Carey. Joplin straight up top. Too strong. Comba wants the rebound, getting there first. Chaplin. Tavian Dunn-Martin had one of his trademark games here at Winsport Event Center today. From the perimeter, Townsend locked in from long range.
Yeah, 41% from the 3-point land on the Mamba coming into this game. You see why, right? Great job knocking things down when it comes to the three-point shooting off of release fouls and ISO.
Let's see a little more scores, but yes, this Saskatoon team coming in with the best three-point shooting percentage in the league, the #1 total in terms of makes per game. And they are piling up the made threes in this one. 16 at last check. Here's Bandu. Battle of the tens. Bandu up off the window high. He counts it, and that's a big one.
What a move right there from Devontae Bandu. With combo all over it. Get that layup high off the glass and let it fall majestically in.
Foul on the floor here against the Saskatoon Mamba. Foul is on Chaplin. Chaplin. And that is 5 on Chaplin, who's had a good ball game, but it's come to a close. His team 1 point away from the target of 114.
We'll say that again. Great ball game indeed. Chaplin finished with 22 on the day, and you saw what he was able to do, attracting that Calgary defense, just opening things up for guys like Townsend and guys like Dunn-Martin to go to work, and Clayton got in there as well, so Chaplin most certainly did his thing.
Ruggsy trying to get it done against Bediako. He protects the rim ever so well. 3 to get a shot away now. This one thrown away. And the Mamba will take control with a chance to close out the ball game.
Bediako, power 3. Hey, Clay, be ready.
Saskatoon on 113. Your target, as you can see, 114. Tavian Dunn-Martin trying to help this team pick up a massive road win. Going to finish it in signature fashion. Tavian Dunn-Martin came ready, finished strong, and the Mamba have a massive win in their push for a playoff spot. They improved to 8-10, and the Surge fall to 5-14. What an effort from the Mamba from the get-go.
Get busy, Tavian Dunn-Martin. You already know when the game is on the line, he is going to call for the ball and take his guys to the promised land. Just another day in the life of #7. That's TDM.
116 points allowed by the Calgary Surge. That's 34 more than they've been giving up over the last 4 games. A big part of it, the pinpoint shooting from long range of Tavian Dunn-Martin, who caps it off in style.
That's right. Giving you spiderweb shots is TDM, as he has loved that center court logo all game long. All over the overdrive was Tavian Dunn-Martin, so it's so fitting that he's the one to put a bow on this one here today.
Didn't they say earlier that he had family in the house today? Was Mom here? I'll tell you what, Mom is a good luck charm. You might have to take her everywhere the rest of the season.
Certainly, man. It makes you wonder why he was playing so inspired today. And now to know that his mother is here, taking in the game, and the beautiful city of Calgary, I might add.
Oh, yeah, nice place to visit. Take a win while you're here. Tavian Dunn-Martin with a stellar performance. 34 points, the target score winner. Player of the game brought to you by Booster Juice, and here he is with Cammie.
Well, Tavian, it's no secret it had been a tough stretch for you guys coming into this one. How important was a win in this fashion against a team that's trying to chase you for a playoff spot?
It's very important. The last few games we've been close, we've been battling everybody. We just had a few minor mistakes. Tonight we came out here and cleaned it up. I thought we played really well on both ends of the floor and came out with the victory.
This marks a new personal best for you in a CBL game and Saskatoon's best offensive effort of the season. Just what was working for you out there, and what role do you hope to play as this team tries to get in the postseason?
I think my mom just being here. My mom surprised me. She just motivated me, told me to keep my head. All my teammates keep me focused, my coaches. So I just kept that confidence, even though I had a bad few games last game. My teammates always believe in me, my coaches, the fans. So I just had to come back and get back in my groove.
I can see your mom watching you right now. How long has it been since she's been able to watch you play in person?
4 years. She hasn't seen me play in 4 years. I haven't seen her in 2 years. So it was really great seeing her here, a really good surprise. I'm happy we won for her. So.
Man, how's it feel to hit the target time winner in front of her?
Amazing, amazing. I ain't gonna lie, the last shot, I was gonna shoot it regardless, miss or make, but I'm glad I made it, so I'm glad she got to see it.
Well, it seems like you should go celebrate. Congratulations.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
I mean, we got to see this reunion right here. Come on, Tavian Dunn-Martin with a massive performance and a massive win. Mitch and Jermaine have more for you after this. You're watching CEBL Basketball Live on CBC Gem, CEBL Sports YouTube, or pardon me, CBC Sports YouTube, and CEBL Plus.
Back to Calgary and Winsport Event Center after a big win for the Saskatoon Mamba in the battle for playoff position. They came in the last playoff spot in the Western Conference, and they made sure they hung on to it with a very impressive performance from start to finish here against this Calgary team.
Book ended this game perfectly with the Saskatoon Mamba. Came in here with a point to prove, and that's obvious. 116 points by the Mamba, Mitch, but you know what might impress me the most about that 116? Only 5 of them came from fast break points. The ability to get in the half court and execute is a lost art in today's game, and the Mamba put on a clinic today when it came to setting up your offense and executing to its end.
They were able to play to their strengths, a very good three-point shooting team. They had 18 threes fall. They had 8 of those from Tavion Dunn-Martin, who was a standout in this game, a special performance for him in a critical situation for his team. And outstanding, he was able to do it with his mom here and seeing her for the first time in a very long time.
Oh, beautiful. When you can get out on the floor and perform when mom is in the crowd, I know I felt great doing the same thing, and it just gives you a little bit extra when your mom, especially you haven't seen her since you joined the CEBL. She hasn't seen you play in person for 4 years. Mitch, what an unbelievable reunion of sorts for the Dunn-Martin family here in Calgary.
Yeah, I think the Surge are hoping that reunion would have taken place in Saskatoon, not here in Calgary. Big win for the Saskatoon Mamba, there is no doubt about it. Well, it's a Cal Tire Western Conference doubleheader coming up on Tuesday. Major playoff implications. First, Scotty Lindsay and the Edmonton Stingers are in Saskatoon to take on TDM and the Mamba. Both teams looking to keep a hold of their current Cal Tire Western Conference playoff spots. That one's going to tip at 7:30 Central and Mountain Time. And next, also at 7:30 Mountain Time, in fact, James Carnick, the Vancouver Bandits, right here in Calgary, take on Sean Miller-Moore, Rooksy, and the Surge, who are winners of 4 straight coming into this one, but now trying to get back on track against a Bandits team that will be hungry and pushing for top spot in the Western Conference. Catch all the action on CBC Gem, YouTube, and CEBL Plus. Well, this one is done in Calgary. The Surge win streak is done. The Saskatoon Mamba come in with a purpose and leave with a much-wanted victory. This one, complete 116.99 is your final. For everybody who works to bring you the action, thanks for being with us, and so long till next time.